she says large facility, right? And there's a reason why. Catch the nuance of the dreamer. She says facility. What other word can you think of with facility? It's facilitate, right? So there is a lot of what she's talking about, large facility, to facilitate its impact, right? And when we facilitate, we bring forth, we help govern, right? We facilitate a meeting, we facilitate and organize, right? So in this dream, she is called to help facilitate this movement.
Okay.
Right? So a group of people are watching TV. Do you remember what John Paul used to say about TV? Do you remember? To tell a vision.
Right.
Yes, TV, to tell a vision.
Is it fair to apply that, what you said earlier about, like, and I couldn't help because you brought that up, so it got me thinking, like, you know, the what you said earlier about why this and not that. Would you apply that in this, you know, watching TV versus watching birds
Radio.
or watching, you know,
right?
Is there something in that?
Absolutely. Okay. And asking that question over every symbol will help unlock the symbol. So if you're not getting a symbol unlocked, then you definitely want to ask yourself, why this and not that? Why are they watching TV and not listening to a radio?
Right.
So we're talking about the eye gate. We're talking about future things. We are talking about the prophetic, right? So to tell a vision, that speaks of a prophetic understanding, right? There's a group of people that want to know what's going on in the future. We watch TV to know what's going on, right? So that talks about our prophetic gift set. We want to know what's going on. It's almost like prayer and intercession. Lord, tell me the heartbeat of what's happening right now. What are you wanting to say right now? And so that's what watching TV is. So TV is wanting to understand that. So she gets up and says that there is, God's what, placing Joseph's, or what did...
Yeah, she stands up and she says that she had a revelation, a major revelation, that God is setting Joseph's up all over the country.
Now, what's really interesting...
For a specific purpose.
For a purpose, right. Now, what's really interesting is to know, has she been studying this? Did God tell her this prior to the dream, or was this revelation in the dream, right? So that would be an important question. Say, you know, have you been thinking about this? Is this something that God's been sharing with you, or was this truly an impartation?
Wow. Yeah.
Right? So this dream could come from clarity and confirmation of what God was telling her, or it was an impartation to help her facilitate.
Got it.
Right? And so with an impartation in a dream comes the infusing of the power. Gideon. Gideon went down there. He was listening to the Midianites. They shared a dream. He understood the dream. And just by the mere catching the revelation of the dream, he was infused with power, courage, right? So then there's that principle that when we have an impartation in the dream, we get the courage and the risk factor. But no one's paying attention. And I think that's really what it's speaking to, is that there's a lot of believers out there. There's a lot of people that are watching what's happening. They're watching, they want to know what's happening, but they're not listening, right? The things that are coming, they don't have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And I think that right there, not paying attention, is where the church is. We want to know, but we don't have the ears to hear and the eyes to see. And here she has this revelation, and she's declaring. So we know that this is her call. This is something that God has given to her to intercede, to declare, to push forth this understanding. And we know that this isn't the first time we've heard this.
Right.
You know, I think Jeremiah Johnson was here and said the same thing.
Jeremiah is what I was thinking of, because actually John, a voice crying out in the wilderness kind of scenario.
Right, and so a lot of people, the church is not paying attention. They don't have the ears to hear. Now, a man gets up to adjust the TV.
Wow.
Right, and I think that he is that one coming out. And men, usually in dreams, can represent leaders. Women in dream can represent the body, the bride, the church. right? So then you have to ask yourself, well, who is that man? And
Right.
how do I figure out who he is? You know, we talked about in the vision that faceless people can be angelic or demonic. But in the context of what we're talking about, we know that it's not angelic or demonic, right?
Right.
Because this man was sitting in the group of people. And we know it's not angelic because it's not bringing a message. It's not, there's no positive or negative aspect, right? We're actually watching the man.